Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Yes, this is Doc Hertz. Breaking news, breaking news. I got holes in both of my shoes. Say you're alone and confused. You got to keep on smiling. Yeah, keep on smiling through the rain. Keep on smiling through the pain. Keep on smiling. Yes. Say turn from city boy to country man. Gonna build your life with your hands. Just keep on smiling. Well, as you seen on the screen, I call this section 45 years out of prison. Now, the reason I call it 45 years out of prison is because I've noticed I've been inundated with a lot of prison movies. 26 years in, 20 years in, 15 years in, 30 years in, 40 years in. And I've been watching these little videos they've been showing. And what I want to talk about is 45 years out of prison. What do I mean when I say 45 years out of prison? I mean that it's been 45 years and I have not been to prison. Hello. Have never been arrested, booked, or fingerprinted a day in my life. And I want people to understand when I'm looking at these videos, it's as if, what do any young man 17 years old to 99 need to be knowing about prison life? As if this is that goal is a reality for you. That should be the last goal you should ever want to think about and ever want to meet. So I'm noticing when you got these guys say, "Hey, I'm not glorifying it. I'm not glorifying prison. I'm just talking about it." Let me tell you something. That's a lie. When you start talking about something and people listen, you glorifying it whether you want to or not. So what I want to know is, you got to get the people off of this stupid track of listening to prison stories and gang stories about how to survive. Listen, I don't need to be knowing about where to put the soap, how to do a booth, how to cook a meal, how to do none of that in prison. Because that should not be your destination. And I think we need to chill on that a whole lot. Because why is you need to know that? And most of these guys getting out, they can't get a job because they're a felon. And the only thing they can do is go on here and talk about I watch videos all the time on YouTube, and I've been watching for a while. I've been on the internet for some mighty long years, and I'm telling you what I see. It's a pattern. And many of these guys that come on and get these shows, most of them have started their YouTube career with ankle bracelets on their feet, meaning that they were on probation, they couldn't go nowhere, so they got them a little video and they started learning about these computers, and this is how they got started. But many of them want to sit up and tell you about the prison life, and that's the last thing I think you need to be talking about is the prison life, because whatever you put in your mind, if I talk to you about boxing all the time, sooner or later you may want to try boxing. So out there telling these people about prison, no, I don't want to hear that. Tell me about what an engineer do. Tell me about a professor of science do. Tell me about a historian, what they do. Tell me about a manufacturing or what they do. Tell me about somebody who's an entrepreneur in business doing. Tell me about somebody's in real estate or marketing or something like that. I don't want to be hearing about no what you've been doing in prison and what's going on in the prison life. Listen, I've listened to it long enough, and see, when I listen to something, I listen because I know I'm going to have to talk to the people about it. And I think I've had enough of this crazy prison talk about what you did 45 years in. And many of you sitting up there, listen, if you've been away 45 years, 30 years, you ain't been relevant. Relevant to what? What you been doing? You can't get out here. You can make people think, oh, I'm in jail. I got all these connections and do this. Listen, you in jail. You in jail. You in jail. You are in jail because you in trouble, because you got to go by the rules, do what somebody's saying, and it ain't a piece of pie, and that's all you need to know about it. But all this old glorifying that foolishness. So my story is, I got 45 years out. Can I tell you about how being 45 years out free what it's like to be a free man, to live a free life, to be an entrepreneur, to go in different business and to live your life. And yes, you have ups and downs, but that prison stuff, I can't tell you about that. But I can tell you, if you get married and you have children, how you go through some things, you go through some ups and downs. We suffer gain, we suffer losses. But through it all, how you can put the Lord in your life and you can make something out of yourself and not get caught up in this wanting to hear about these prison tales. Now, I know that's not everybody's reality. You know, some folk are raised in the project, but everybody raised in the project ain't going to prison. Amen. So we shouldn't even be trying to talk to folks about going to prison. Try to tell them how to get a job cutting grass for themselves. Have a job, you know, where they can go out. You know, they don't have paper routes no more, but they got something. You can start selling frozen cups. You know how to do it in the neighborhood. Be an entrepreneur. Be an entrepreneur. Be a businessman. Just get your lawnmower, go cut some grass. You'd be surprised the money you can make. You can do a whole lot when you really want to. I remember a brother coming to church. He took a bucket and a rag, and he went out. Didn't even have a driver's license. Bucket and a rag. Guess what? He started his car wash business, and all he had was a bucket and a rag. He had to use the people water hose. He had to use the people soap to wash the car. But guess what? He began to do what he needed to do. And he became an entrepreneur, washed cars, and makes a living doing it. And a good living at that. So I'm just saying, enough of this foolishness about others. So if you want to see something, I'm going to tell you about 45 years out. Now I got Mr. Izzy on the line. Mr. Izzy, anything you want to add? Because, you know, I talked to you about this sometime, and I decided I was going to do a video tonight. I know it's going to be very controversial, but sometimes we need to put controversy out there so because all this foolishness that people watch.
Well, people need to watch what they watch. Watch what you let in your mind. It's all on your mind. Try to reprogram your mind. YouTubes has a lot of people who are trying to program you to listen to people who've been incarcerated for lots of years in life, and just believe that there's so much more available for you out here on the free world. You need to subscribe and listen to us because there's so much more we could offer you. It may not be exciting a story tale to hear about who got shot, stabbed, and cut up, and who pulled the gun on who, but the reality is it's a source of entertainment that does not benefit anyone. It's not benefiting. These people are getting paid to tell stories of nothing but violence, trouble, how to survive in an incarcerated state of mind. And we don't want you to let that even enter into your mental space, your psyche. There's so many things out here for you. We've all survived through this COVID. Let's just focus on that, people. There's so many things we can do collectively, networking together. That's what we need to do. So just get your mind back on the right things and try to temper and limit the usage of these social media spokesmen. And I think that's a good way to start.
Okay, and I like I said, I agree with what you're saying, and I'm just sick and tired of hearing and watching these shows be, you got this guy coming out, one other guy getting out of prison, 26 years in, and 12 years in, 15 years in. Man, come on. You've been in prison that long. It's some things you need to adjust just to normal life. You're not even used to having normal life, but well, I'm not trying to glorify. You're lying. You're trying to get subscription. You're trying to get seen. You're trying to get heard. And the bad part about it is you're encouraging people. How are they not going to go that way? If they from the project, they figure they don't have nowhere else. Then they start looking at people who just survive. And you coming out there, well, I did the dope like this. If you go to jail, do it like this. There ain't no way to go to jail. There ain't no jail. Wasn't meant for a human being. A cage wasn't meant for you. You wasn't meant to be locked up like an animal. You're meant to think and to be free, and that's what you need to concentrate on. And I'm not saying everybody go to jail is guilty. I know there's some innocent people get caught up in it, but I know one thing: whatever the man mind thinking, so is he. And whatever you focus your mind on, it will come to pass. So we got young kids set up there listening to all these war stories by all these guys who coming out trying to tell you about how to make soap, how to make soup, what line you can't walk across, who you can't talk to, how you got to have your paperwork. Man, look, that's the last thing I need. Only paperwork you need to be having is how you enroll in college. Tell me about that. Tell me about the first day of college. What do I do? Tell me about what happened when I graduate. That's what I want to know. I want to know how you get a job at NASA, how you get a job being a truck driver, a real estate agent, something like that. Tell me how I do all that kind of stuff and be an entrepreneur, start my own business. You know, that's the stories I want to hear, not all this other foolishness. So this Doc Hurts, I'm gonna be coming back on you because I really want you. Now, what y'all do is subscribe, like, share, put this message out there, tell somebody, tell a neighbor, even tell an enemy, and send it out there and let it be known that we finna break all this old crazy jailhouse rock star image down. It's the same thing when we warned you years ago about calling women bees and calling people ends and doing all that. You thought folk were crazy. Now you're looking back, it's coming to bite us right in the butt. Because why? Our young people out here killing each other, no remorse, and the vulgarity and the foolishness is just running rampant in the community. Because why? You started off taking an inch, and now it take more than 10,000 miles. And if you don't put an end to this glorifying that prison life, it ain't going to do nothing but get worse. You know, that's why they got Charleston White out there now. He battling them rappers. He talking that noise. He got him mad. They want to kill him. They want to shoot him. They want to hang him. They want to do everything. But there's so much. Now, as crazy as Charles may seem, and he got some crazy stuff, he be telling some truth. And that's what it is. The truth is you need to stop this foolishness. We need to stop killing one another. We need to stop glorifying these rappers, amen? Because these rappers ain't, listen, we know the lyrics of what they song, and it ain't glorifying nothing but death and murder. Now, I know every rapper ain't saying all of the foolishness, but the majority of them are. And it's time it come to a head, and I think it is. And so it's time for that to come to a head. It's time for this prison, the pipeline, stop. Because that's where our young people are not going. And before I get off here, and he said, I tell it every day and twice on Sunday. You know, I've been saying this for 30-something years. He's saying some stuff I've been talking about, but it doesn't matter. I want to get the word out. Mr. Is anything you'd like to say before I get off this air?
You're good to go. Good to go.
All right. I guess I done fussed at you enough, but I'm trying to tell you, I don't need to know what a soap is. I don't need to know what a line is, and I don't need to know about no paperwork. Because if I'm in jail, I'm already in hell. What you going to come talk about some paperwork? Ain't no paperwork. So get yourself together. I will be back. This is Doc Hurts. 45 years out of prison. Do you want to make it 65? Let's try to add it 20 more years on to that. How about that? 45 years out of prison. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, you don't need to see the inside of a jail cell. And if you did, you don't need to see no more. See you later.